r/Askreddit.
Cashapp giveaways weekly, nightly, and ever so rightly. Like, subscribe, and comment to enter.
Like, subscribe.
What stupid myth do too many people believe?
Reddit.
That if you put a frog in tepid water and slowly raise the temperature, the frog won't try to escape and save itself when the temperature gets too high. Great for illustrating certain points, but completely untrue.
Reddit.
Goldfish have short-term memory. Actually, goldfish can remember things up to a year. So many goldfish myths. It's a myth that they'll only grow to fit the size of their tank. They can definitely outgrow tanks. And both fancy and common goldfish routinely grow up to 7 or 8 feet in the indoor aquariums, and outdoor ponds where they have large volumes of water to dilute irritants. Common goldfish have been reported to grow up to 18 inches. People also believe that goldfish have naturally short lifespans. This is wrong. They have unnaturally short lifespans because people kill them through neglect/incorrect care. The average lifespan of a goldfish is 5 to 10 years. The longest lived goldfish on record lived to 43.
Reddit.
That it takes 7 years to digest gum if you swallow it. You get arthritis by cracking your knuckles. All it is just gas bubbles popping. Also, some guy did a long-term experiment several decades, I think, where he continuously cracked all his knuckles in one hand and left the other one alone. After the experiment was over, they took x-rays and tests to find that both hands were practically identical in terms of condition.
Reddit.
Fire sprinklers. They don't go off by pulling a fire alarm. They're individually heat activated. Bermuda Triangle. For any given same-size sea area, there is statistically the same amount of missing ships and planes.
Reddit.
This isn't actually that stupid really, but it's my favorite weird myth. That rabbits love carrots. They don't. You give a hungry rabbit a carrot, it'll probably eat it, but they likely wouldn't be high on its preference list. So why are carrots stereotyped as rabbits' favorite food? Weirdly, because of Bugs Bunny. Bugs is always munching on a carrot. But why if rabbits don't really eat carrots normally? Because it was created in 1938 on that particular quirk with a parody of Clark Gable's character from the 1934 movie It Happened One Night, who had a famous scene being a wiseacre while munching on a carrot. The movie is mostly forgotten today, but was a huge hit at the time. Contemporary audiences, who would have also been seeing the cartoons in a movie theater as pre-show shorts, would have recognized the references as easily as early 2000s audiences would recognize a bullet dodging scene as Matrix parody. The carrot munching bit became Bug's signature, and over time the origin was mostly forgotten. Everyone associated rabbits with carrots so strongly because of that it eventually became common knowledge that rabbits love carrots despite it not being true at all. The myth is prevalent enough that pet shops will commonly warn people getting pet rabbits to make sure they feed them a proper diet, because carrots are not sufficient and the poor bunny can actually starve to death. Bonus Bugs Bunny fact: he's also the reason Nimrod is an insult. Nimrod is a character from the Bible who, among other things, was famously an extremely skilled hunter. The term used to mean skilled hunter. Bugs Bunny used it sarcastically, making fun of Elmer Fudd, and people who didn't know the reference just assumed it meant idiot, or something similar. That's its primary meaning these days. Edit. Couple quick addendums. Yes, rabbits will enjoy the green sprigs from the top of the carrots often. Leafy greens are great for them. But that's not generally what anyone means by a carrot. Also, when I say It Happened One Night is mostly forgotten, I mean by the general public. Of course, film buffs and historians, etc. know it. If you ask random people on the street about it, you'd probably get someone who had heard of it, but way fewer that know who's in it. And you'd have a really hard time finding someone who can give a plot synopsis.
Reddit.
Spot reduction of fat. People think that doing setups will burn fat around your belly area. But if I always put the weight on in my belly, shouldn't I always lose it on my belly? Come on, life. Be reasonable. Too many people believe that porcupines can shoot their quills when they actually have to jab you with their quills. You can suck venom out of a snake bite. That sugarcane grows faster on sand. Has Minecraft been lying to me all these years? You won't get in trouble if you tell the truth. Edit. Yes, I know that morally, this is not the good option. But if you were in a sticky situation, and I bet you once did, you probably lied. You what?
Reddit.
It's illegal to turn your lights on in your car.
It's the truth. Ask any dot.
That if you're an organ donor, then doctors won't try hard to save you and might let you die. I'm a doctor. When I'm treating a patient, whether the patient is an organ donor or not never crosses my mind. I will genuinely have no idea. And even if I did, why would I want to sacrifice my patient for some random other patient across the country? Surely that would just make me look like a shit doctor.
That human beings only use 10% of their brain.
Good grief, I can't listen to people who say that this is true. The worst thing is, my teacher in elementary school thinks that humans only use 10 to 15% of their brain. And the reason Albert Einstein, for example, was super smart is that he used about 30% of his brain. The biggest amount of bullshit I've ever heard. And the person saying it is a science teacher.
My arm's not broken, it's only fractured. It's the same thing. Source, I'm an X-ray tech. In my experience, it seems that most people think of fracture as when it's not broken the whole way, and broken means it's broken clean in half, or multiple pieces. In this case, I understand their intent. They simply don't know the right words. Still annoying though. They do mean the same thing.
That blood is blue in your veins but turns red when exposed to the air. Total bullshit. Blood is always red. It just goes from dark crimson to bright. Almost pink depending on how much oxygen is present in your blood. The blue color of your veins is just that, the color of the vein tissue, because of how light shifts as it passes through the skin. If someone persists, ask them what color the blood is when they have it drawn, because it's not in contact with the air. Hint, it's red. Edit, corrected statement regarding where the blue is coming from. In any event, the blood inside the arteries and veins is red.
The most annoying one to me is the idea that in America you pay the percent from your highest tax bracket on the whole of your income. I've had people brag to me about how they know to clock out early on certain days so they don't make enough to go up a tax bracket, as if you would make less money by making more money. Shaving makes your hair grow back thicker.
You don't need to wait 24 hours to report a missing person. If you sincerely think someone is missing, then report it. The faster that a missing person report is filed, the better chance that there is that that person will be found. This is especially crucial when it comes to missing children.
Despite what many people think, Albert Einstein never failed math. The confusion likely comes from the grading system. But this myth has been around for a long time and used by people as a sort of motivation. When he was shown a clipping from Ripley's Believe It or Not, where that myth originated, he responded, "I never failed in mathematics. Before I was 15, I had mastered differential and integral calculus." Source.
People think that if you ask an undercover cop if they are an undercover cop, they have to tell the truth. An undercover cop does not have to reveal that they are a cop, even if the person asks.
Snakes will chase you and bite you.
Possums have rabies. Pigs are dirty. There's tons of misinformation about animals.
Higher octane fuel is better for your car. Unless it was designed for it, there's literally zero benefits.
White teeth. Most of the people believe that teeth should be pure white naturally, but they should be a little yellow. But I don't know if this is really true.
I know a lot of young adults who thought men had one less rib than women. If you earn more and it pushes you into the next tax bracket, you can end up making less money. That cats should drink saucers of milk. Cats are lactose intolerant. I told my dad this and he was like, but the cartoons... Yeah, no. Cartoons are probably fiction. That sugar makes you act a fool. How many kids out here bouncing off the walls because of the placebo effect? This was me as a kid. Always played it up when I had a bunch of sugar because that's how I thought you were supposed to be.
That everything will magically turn out okay. I know a guy that makes about $11 an hour and has 3 kids. He turns down better paying jobs, doesn't plan for the future at all, always had a big list of material things that he wanted out of his life, has done nothing to make it happen.
The black cats are bad luck. It's really unfortunate to see how many black cats are neglected at shelters just because of a myth. That depression is just being sad or being down, and that someone with depression can just stop being depressed anytime. Vaccines cause autism. The doctor was paid off by an anti-vax group to falsify the study and lost his license shortly off publishing. That study is not accurate at all and a huge insult to autistic children.
That the world owes you because you're a nice person. That people in the past got married and had children in their early teens. Historically speaking, most girls wouldn't enter puberty until the mid to late teens. For example, in 1850s Britain, the average girl started puberty at 16. In Norway during the same period, the average age of puberty onset was 18. Even outside of that biological requirement, there was almost always an economic side to marriage and childbirth as well. For much of recorded history, most people got married and had children in their late teens or even the early to mid-20s. It has to be my least favorite historical myth. Right up there with medieval people didn't drink water. It's ignorant of biology at best, and an attempted excuse for child molestation at worst.
Cashapp giveaways weekly, nightly, and ever so rightly. Like, subscribe, and comment to enter.
The frog is pleased. Thank you for watching this video. Like and subscribe for more.
Like.